Whoever you are, wherever you are, no matter what you're doing, just be inspired. This is the Uninspired Inspiration. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Uninspired Inspiration. I'm your host, G. This is episode 2. Last but not least, not even last but not least, finally, is a real special one. I got my guy with me, Ryon. It's been a really
So
long time. And I'm happy to be sitting down and kicking it with you, dog. How you doing?
everything has been good, man. And same old, same old. Nothing changed. Same hustle. We all doing the same hustle.
Yeah.
Oh, something did change. Yeah, I have another kid.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Congratulations.
it.
Got a new addition to the family. That's a major thing. That's a huge blessing.
Yeah, got my boy. So now the package is complete. And that's pretty much it.
So it's over. That's it.
Yes, it's a
Two
wrap.
two and done.
That's it.
You got
I
it
don't
out
even
the
think she
way
want to go
early.
through anymore.
Nah,
That's it.
you never know,
The other
man.
one, the other one now, if that was to happen, we gonna actually have to tell this kid, yo, you was an accident. Other two was planned, but you was an accident.
Yo, that would be crazy telling your kid they are
I mean,
accident.
you still gonna love him. You still
But
gonna
to
love him,
be
but
like,
yeah.
yo, this you just happened.
I mean, I wasn't planned. I know I was an accident, but my mom still loves me nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, did she tell you that though? She told you like
Yeah, she
accident
had me
is
when she
is
was
a
17. It had to be an accident. She was
alright.
17, 18.
Yeah. Accident is a strong word though. I think like accident and mistake, those are like daggers. I'd rather just
I
hear
mean,
like, yo, you wasn't really planned, but I'm glad you here. You know, don't tell me
trying to
like I was
sugarcoat
yeah,
it.
don't be like, yo, you was an accident or a mistake, bro.
All right. Now I have to tell him it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well that hold on, I'm sorry. That kinda let's you sent me this video, right?
Hmm.
And I watched the video
Hmm.
and this dude, to just give some context, he is see let me you tell me if I understood the video for what he was saying. Because it
Hmm.
seemed like he was trying to say that women are not supposed to have multiple partners, and a man doesn't want to be with a woman that has multiple partners. Like you're supposed to
Hmm.
cherish your body and limit yourself to the amount of people that you let have access to you. But a
Hmm.
man is kind of designed to have a bunch of partners. Like it's almost natural for a man to have a bunch of partners or to want a bunch of partners.
Hmm.
And just the value that a man puts on himself should be more of what he accomplishes instead of
Hmm.
the woman that he has with him, and the value that a woman brings to his life.
Hmm.
Is that what he was saying?
I think to an extent. The reason why I say to an extent, I didn't listen to the video completely because my focus was mainly on the comments, and then I started thinking about value in general. But to an extent, that's what I think he was talking to, and I agree to an extent, and I don't agree to an extent. But I don't know where you want to go with
Nah, I
with that.
wanted what part do you agree with first?
Huh?
What part do you agree with?
Well, I agree that I don't limit it. I don't limit it to just women. I agree with nobody wants somebody with mad bodies. You know what I mean? You don't want a girlfriend or a wife that has a bunch of bodies underneath her, and I don't think a woman wants a bunch of dudes or a dude with a bunch of bodies underneath them. You know what I mean? To me, it's like one of those things. Oh, you I don't know what numbers quantify a lot, but nobody wants to know you had over 50 partners. You understand what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
think that goes both ways. I'm not so he was so focused on like the woman aspect of the thing, of that, but I'm not he was and then I think the title of the video said hose or something like that, which I don't agree with any of that stuff as well. Oh, wasn't he talking about like who you would prefer to raise a child with or something like that?
There was more to it because the
Yeah,
video I saw, it was only like a minute and 48 seconds.
Yeah.
It was really short, and he was talking really fast. And then it kind of got
Oh,
to a
you didn't
point.
go to the YouTube. Yeah, there was a whole interview
Oh, it
to it.
was?
Yeah, but like I said, don't even. I wasn't even focused on the interviews. When I went into the comments, he had made a statement in reference to a woman should put more value on themselves, or what do you call it? And just, what you just said, women should put more value on themselves, body wise, and a man should put more value in what I guess they could bring home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that?
That's what it seemed like he was trying to say. Again, he was talking so fast, and
Mm-hmm,
it sounded like nonsense to me. I mean, I got it, but
mm-hmm,
I was looking at it more from like, yeah, I might have felt like that when I was 18, 19
mm-hmm,
or something. Like, at what age do you stop asking somebody how many people they've been with anyway to even know? You know, like, when does that come
that's
up?
what I'm
Does that
saying. I
still
don't
come
even
up in
agree.
conversations? It's like, once I became like a man for real,
Mm-hmm,
that wasn't even a part of the conversation anymore to be like, oh, how many people you been with? You know, when I
mm-hmm,
was younger, that was off the rip. That was like top three questions. Like, oh,
mm-hmm,
how many people you been with? And it
mm-hmm,
mattered, but it only mattered from an ego standpoint of feeling like I didn't want a bunch of other people to be able to say they've been with you.
mm-hmm.
But later on, it was like, yeah, I don't need to know.
You might have to. You using your phone or a camera? I was about to say you might have to click on that clip because I swear he mentioned something about hoes and child and kid and stuff like that. And he used bodies to basically say that this chick was a hoe. She had so many bodies. You don't want to bring home a hoe. He was very like he was using a lot of derogatory terms, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he was saying. But when I went into the comment section, is what jogged them. Say, "Oh, yo, let me text George this because this would be an interesting topic, right?"
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with the body thing, but I do agree that to an extent, both man and woman don't want someone who has a significant amount of partners, you know. Um, uh, but what I do agree in is the culture system and the value system that he mentioned, right? Um, and you gonna give me back to my little Kevin Samuels inserts.
Oh, bro. Here we
But the
go.
we live in a culture where, and I'm just talking about American culture, whatever. We live in a culture where man has to bring home something monetary, whether it's money, you have to be financially stay in a sense. 90% of the men has to do that because that's what women are looking for. And men are looking for childbearing, submissive type individuals in order to form a cohesive partnership, right? At least that's what I believe a cohesive partnership is. You don't have to be the same, but you got to bring something to the table to where you guys collab and you form together great with, right? And and like I said, Kevin Samuels quote, if you're a rich guy, you don't care for a rich woman. Nobody wants a rich woman or someone that's going to be difficult or want to like butt heads within the same dynamic, you know. And I agree with that to an extent, you know. And it's not taking away value from a woman or my girlfriend. My girlfriend is a hard worker. She's high in her job, and you know, same thing with me. But when we're in the home, she brings something to the table that I don't bring all the time, and vice versa. So we form a cohesive unit, right? But what that video, I was gonna ask you. The reason why I sent you that video because I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think is more important? So, because a guy was talking about self value, and then I went in the comments, and people were making these comments, and I think they're so like stereotypical comments. You know, the comments that everybody wants to hear is nice. Oh, don't care about what everybody says. As long as you have value within yourself, you don't have to worry about anything, right? And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, is that really true? Like, is value in myself worth more than uh, your market value in the world? And that was the question I wanted to pose to you.
Okay. That's a good question. I'm kind of, for me, like, once the whole know your worth movement started, I kind of didn't really subscribe to that too much, because it's like, if you're putting your own value on yourself or what you bring to the table, I feel like it's always overpriced. People
Mm,
always think more highly of themselves than maybe they should. And the
mm,
things that you hold in high regard may not really have that much value at all. You know, like
mm.
people, you see they take pictures and it's like, oh,
Okay.
I look so good. My body is this, my body is that. I know what I bring to the table. And it's like that means nothing. That's
Hmm.
not real value. And just because you're a good person and maybe you got a great job and you make a ton of money and you can cook, clean, or if you're a man and you have all of these great attributes, that don't mean you're a good partner. That don't mean you're
Hmm.
good in a relationship. That mean as an individual, yeah, you got some stuff going on for yourself, but you might be terrible at pleasing somebody else in a relationship, or
Hmm.
bringing the
Hmm.
things to a relationship that's
Hmm.
necessary. So all of that value talk, that's not really for me. Like, and I think that's why me and my wife, we fit so much, because it's not really for her either, as far as I know, unless I'm mistaken.
Hmm. Hmm. I had a feeling you and I were gonna agree with that because it's just like I was reading. I'm like, yo, everybody's saying all this. It's like when they talk about, um, what's her name? Is it Scissor? No, the overweight singer or the big singer now
Um,
that
what is her name? Damn.
you could tell I'm old now
Izzo,
because
Izzo. I think it's
Izzo,
Izzo. Is it Izzo or Rizzo?
yeah,
Whatever her name is
one of the
the one
yeah,
that went to
right,
the Lakers game with her
yeah,
bottom
yeah,
out.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, and they talk about she has value in herself and high confidence and all this stuff, and I'm like, yo, all that is good, right? And you know, I remember back in the days, Monique used to do the same thing. I don't know if you remember Monique, the comedian,
Mm-mm.
right? She used to be just as big as Izzo or
Yeah.
whatever her name. When she was on the stage, she you could barely see her eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
she talked about she had value in herself, and all that is good. But what is that? Is that does that hold more weight than market value? And I think you already answered the question. In reality, it doesn't. So when everyone says all this nice, great woke stuff, you're really not saying much because in reality, your market value, I think, trumps your actual value in yourself. What you could actually bring to the table, what you're going to give this company, what you're going to be able to provide and give this other person. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you answered it. I knew we was pretty much gonna say think the same. I figured that. Yeah, I wasn't focused too much on the woman thing that dude was going on about on the video. I think that was like half and half stuff, but he was in there calling women hoes and all that stuff. And I honestly don't think brothel's been around forever, sex been around forever, selling
Yeah.
sex been around forever, and
Mm-hmm.
it's part of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
These are businesses that's been running. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Like your preference is your preference. You like what you like, and I kind of feel like let's say I've been with 200 women,
Hmm.
and I meet somebody, and I treat this woman like a queen. You know, I make her
Hmm.
happy. I'm faithful. I'm a good father, a good husband. Like all of these things that make me a good partner. Does it matter if I've been with 200 women before that? If she doesn't even know, if she never asked me how many people I've been with, and she never knows, then
Hmm.
how does it matter how many people a person been with? You know,
Hmm.
everybody has a past. I feel like people they trying to, it's just too many like labels and rules, and everybody's a relationship expert now.
Hmm.
That's the
Hmm.
part that's a little annoying to me. Like everybody knows what you need to be doing in a relationship, what makes a good relationship, and the type of person you should be with, and all of this stuff, and might not even be in a relationship themselves. Like it's not enough of just
I see like
do what you want. Like
80% of those relationship gurus are not in relationships
yeah.
themselves.
It's like you don't even have nobody, or like with this dude, it comes out that he got all this relationship advice, and he's a douchebag in, in real life, and people you running around eating it up. And I just felt like whatever makes you happy, and
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta be happy. But that brings us to the good part,
Mm-hmm.
the part that I really want to talk about, because I don't really care about the gossip and all of that other stuff when it comes to relationships. This is my jam right here. So I want to know, like, what's the best part of your relationship to you?
The best part is,
Yeah.
like I just mentioned, like the cohesive team. We don't bring the same thing to the table, but when we bring whatever we bring to the table, we have a full table. You know what I mean? We create a whole what is it? I bring the dessert, she brings the meal. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah,
create
yeah,
a complete full course meal.
yeah.
Um, that that's pretty much what I look at as like completing. What was it? The relationship is that we complete each other in a sense, and we're not the same.
You believe
Or
that
you want me to?
opposites attract?
I believe that definitely. I believe that definitely. Would you want to be with somebody like you all the time?
No, I just,
No.
it's funny because my wife, like, she be saying that. She said it, we was having a conversation, and she was like, yeah, opposites definitely attract because we're the complete opposite. And I never thought about it,
Because
because
you
when you with
balance each other
somebody,
out.
you kind of feel like you're the same, but then when you think about it, you're not.
You're not. Yeah, like you it's like a puzzle. You're not gonna have a complete puzzle if you don't have mismatched pieces. Mismatched pieces is what completes the whole puzzle, right? So you, your wife, me, my girlfriend, we're mismatched pieces, but together we make a cohesive piece, and we can complete the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want to be with me all the time. Me all the time would be boring, annoying. Like I'm a homebody. Like I don't want to do the same shit that I do all the
Yeah.
time. Mind you, she's come close. She comes close to me, but nah, we're different in certain
Yeah.
aspects.
I barely want to be with me half the time. Like, I barely can stand myself now. I could dig it. Yeah, I feel like just being with somebody that doesn't care what the outside world thinks is the best part for me. It's
Hmm.
almost like we in a bubble. The
Hmm.
only thing that matters is what goes on in our house and between us and the decisions we make and how we decide to live our life and function in our relationship. And we're on the same page with that. I feel
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
relationships be having a lot of outside influence sometimes, and it just messes stuff up because
Hmm.
you listening to what other people telling you, and you trying to follow what other people doing, and you not really doing what you want to do. And I think we do us, and
Hmm.
that's a big part of why I enjoy being with her so much.
Hmm. I definitely agree. I agree with that. Too many outside influences have your mind wandering all over the place. So I agree with that.
the
And
the
you already know I'm a secretive person. Not even a secretive person. I just don't tell my business everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, that's something else that I was gonna ask you. How you feel about relationship advice?
Just like you said, I feel like it's to each his own. You can't give a set of advice that's gonna be indicative to my relationship or my situation. You know what I mean? You don't know my partner, you don't know my personality, so is that advice gonna be? So sometimes you just gotta dissect relationship advice and take little bits and pieces out, but sometimes people follow that shit wholeheartedly and then it can fuck up their own relationship. Instead of just learning, you take little bits and pieces and be like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me.
Yeah,
This is not gonna work for me,
yeah,
and then build your own. But,
yeah.
sometimes they mess up their own relationship listening to somebody that's just giving random uh shit.
Or that relationship don't even be that good in the first place. Like, you be taking relationship advice from people that be in terrible relationships. They don't even be happy.
You brought up homeboy. I won't say his name, but everybody knows who he is already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, giving
Yeah.
tons of relationship advice out there, and this dude, smashing the world.
Yeah. You gotta be real selective. Like I'm not gonna front though. It was one day when we was working together and I had first start going to court for Austin. And
Mhm.
I was stressing. It was going how it was going. I think it was like after the first time they shut me down. And I was like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to figure it out. Me and you, we was kicking it. And I was telling you that, my wife, at the time she wasn't my wife, but she was by my side. And you was telling me basically like even though you going through it, if she's trying to be there, let her be there. Don't
Mhm.
put how you feeling off on her when she's just
Mhm.
trying to support you. Don't make her feel like she's not doing what she needs to be doing as far as being in your corner.
See,
And
I
I
actually remember that conversation.
yeah.
Yo, how you be remembering these
Yo,
things?
I got a
I
good.
didn't
I'm
remember.
like an elephant. They say elephants got great memories. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
got.
remember this conversation. Not
Yeah,
not completely, but I remember the yeah, I remember.
yeah, yeah. And because I felt it. I felt like I was pushing her away a little bit, and I was falling
Mm.
back just into a weird space. And you was like, nah, bro. Like, yo, she's trying to be there. You need somebody to be there. Just let her be there because you're gonna put a strain. You was like you're gonna put a strain on your relationship by putting that wedge in between me and her. And that was some
Mhm.
good
Mhm.
advice. So that's why I say like you gotta pick and choose with the advice you take. I think people take it too far though and just
Mhm. Mhm.
follow every word to the T. And you like, come on, it's your relationship. Why would you
Yeah.
do what somebody else is doing in theirs, in
Yeah.
yours?
Yeah.
Um,
Damn.
there was something else I wanted to ask you. Yo, I had like my notes. I'm not even going front. This is like a little behind the scenes thing right now. I have my notes, right? And I on my phone, I just dropped my phone. So I can't I can't I
That's what I
can't
heard. I heard it.
I was trying to go through my notes on the phone, and the
Why you
shit
didn't pick your
fell out.
phone up?
It fell out of my hand. I don't want to mess up the shot by not being in the thing,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
happen to look back into it. So you got a little behind the scenes teaser. We gonna have to wing it a little
You
bit,
should have
but
picked up your phone. You could have picked it up really quickly.
it's
You
nah.
did the behind the scenes.
The shit like bounced. I hope my screen
Uh,
not cracked. It's basically like all relationship, man. Like I see that you got somebody that's really important to you, that's really special, and without like putting your business out there, like you said, you got a new child. This is somebody that you've known for some time. This is somebody that you relocated to a whole other, like you started a whole new life with this person in a whole new place. And
I
that's
want to say a whole new life, maybe a continuation.
nah. It's not a whole new life, bro. Please don't front. You
You said
really
a
don't feel like it's
continuation,
a it's
huh?
a whole new life.
No, because I'm with the same person, and a lot of this stuff, like I said, the kids were planned. The the age for like I don't know. Maybe I'm too structured. Maybe it's a cancer thing, but a lot of things is structured. Like my time is structured. When I do things is structured. The kids were planned. Everything was structured. And so,
Okay, that's fair. But when I say a whole new life, I mean you went from one coast to another coast, from one profession to a completely different profession. Even if you was, kind of involved in it before,
mm,
you went back to it. You're not around family like that. It's kind of
mm,
you and her making it work. That's what I
mm.
mean by a whole
Oh,
a
okay.
whole new life. It's like it's a whole new, maybe a new life is not the right way to put, a new chapter. You started a
New
whole new
chapter. I would
chapter
say new chapter. Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
your
New
life.
chapter because this
And,
is definitely a new chapter.
and that's big to be willing to do that for somebody, with somebody. It's a special thing. It's a real special thing, and she
We're
has to
about
be
to
a
do
special person.
first. Yeah, yeah. We're about to do first family vacation in May. Like, damn, family
Nice,
vacation.
nice.
Before it was just me and her traveling around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
yeah. So
that's another thing. You was, yeah, you passport tatted up. Like you was always going somewhere. Every time I turned around, Ryon abroad. Like Ryon, Ryon is here. Ryon is there. You and her, y'all making moves, and now making those moves with a family. It just
yeah,
shows
it's gonna be
that's
interesting.
value to me. That's the definition of the value that somebody really brings to you. Like you can
Mhm.
have $1 million and be able to say, yeah, I could buy you whatever you want. I could take you wherever you want to go. But somebody that could give you what you really wanted out of life, like a real
Mhm.
peace and a real satisfaction, that's a different type of value. Like for her to
Mhm.
provide you with, you say you big on structure, she providing you love and a family. That's priceless to me.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree. It definitely is priceless, and I'm finally learning like what you and Ben was talking about. Because before, I didn't have any kids, right? So I didn't have that definition of like what do they call it? Like unconditional love, right? Now I'm like seeing. I used to clown. Yo, Ben, let your little kids walk to the school bus by themselves. Let them go to school. So yeah, so no, I get it's priceless. It's a priceless moment, priceless time, priceless. Like yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, when you sit back and you just look at it from what life was and what it is and kind of what you wanted it to be or even what you thought it could be.
Hmm.
If it lines up with that person, like I feel like I couldn't have read a script for the way me and my wife, our relationship has turned out, and believed it. Like I
What do you
still,
mean? Your script would have been a good Tyler Perry movie.
yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, if I've known her for so long that if you told me back then that we would end up married with a home, like a blended family and all of
Hmm.
these things, I'd have been like, nah, get out of here. No way.
Yeah.
At the time. But now when I think back about it, yeah, I think I've always loved her. Like no matter what I was doing,
Hmm.
and what I was going through throughout life and throughout the years, a part of me, like she never left me. And that's, oh, you believe in soulmates?
I do, and I believe in many soulmates.
What do you mean? Like you believe you can have
So
more than one?
yeah, I'm gonna use this puzzle analogy
Yeah,
again, right?
please do.
I believe you can have. It's like when you're. I think me and Nia are soulmates, right? Because we just fit so perfectly together, right? But like I also feel you could love more than one person, but it's up to you to bring that down. You get what I'm saying? Put on your horse blinders and focus on that one individual that you're with, right? Because I feel like love is that energy that you can't really contain. You could
Yeah.
have love for someone, you could love someone. So I do believe in multiple different soulmates. There's probably another one for her and another one for me in Africa somewhere. That's
Nah.
gonna blend with me perfectly. I
He-
don't know.
it
I just don't think love is that encompassed to like that one individual, right? I just feel like it's free flowing, but it's up to you to make sure that majority of it is flowing towards your significant other. Because again, I said I was going to use that puzzle analogy.
yeah.
In order to make a complete puzzle, this is you. This is puzzle one, right? Puzzle two fits. You still got this side, and this side. You know, that
Yeah.
other soulmate may fit this other side, these other sections to
Yeah.
make that complete puzzle. Or maybe, you guys just fit together. Like I'm saying, I feel like there's multiple different pieces for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially since the ratio to men and women is really off.
Yeah.
you know, so that's
I guess I could I I agree with you that I think you could love more than one person. I just think that it's like it's levels to the love. I feel like your
oh,
soulmate is that's it. It's kind of like the Matrix and like how Neo is the one. It's like yo,
mm,
your soulmate is the ultimate. Like that's the one that you really were meant to be with, but you don't always find that person, so you can have love throughout your journey
that's kind of like
in
what they touched on the
relationships.
last Matrix.
Oh really?
Did you watch the last one?
I saw it, but yo, it was trash to me. I
But
couldn't.
that's what they talking about. They were talking about that Trinity was his soulmate. So in order to actually complete Neo, you needed that other piece, which was
Yeah.
Trinity. So Trinity ended up being part of the one to complete the whole thing.
That's why she could fly
She
too
ended
and
up
all of
being
that.
able to, yeah, and they were talking about like they couldn't really separate them. Like every matrix they made, they had to like keep them like close but not together, and
Yeah.
it's a whole crazy thing. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. That's fire. So I feel like my wife is then she's my Trinity then like 100%, man.
Mhm.
She's the one. She's always been the one. Like I've seen her do some amazing things throughout our relationship, and she just keeps getting better.
Mhm.
And it's like she does it without wanting a pat on the back. That's another
Mhm.
thing that I love so much about it. She just do her. She hold the family down. Yeah, when we first moved to Jersey, right? And
Mhm.
a lot of our journey kind of started with me going to court for Austin and me having to figure that out, and us moving to Jersey and me having to go back and forth to New York and everything. So we was living out here,
Mhm.
and that was when I was we were able to work on Sundays. I don't know if you remember, like we still was able to work on some Sundays, and I
Mhm.
was planning on switching out my Sunday to be off Friday, because through the court order I was supposed to have him on every
And that
Friday.
was that week when I made that switch for you, and Kevin or somebody was like beefing with me.
Yeah, they was trying to front or whatever, but it was like, yo, I need to start working Sundays so I could be off Fridays
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
could pick them up, because I'm picking them up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:30, and it was tough to pick him up and then have to go to work for 9 o'clock or whatever. It wasn't possible to get back to Jersey or whatever. So long story short, we started working it out to where I was coming down, picking him up. She was working in the city at the time. She was getting off work
Mhm.
and coming down to Brooklyn, meeting me, staying with me till 9 o'clock, taking
Mhm.
him back to Jersey while I had to go to work, and then waiting for me. So she was waiting like 4 hours.
Mhm.
So to just be doing that and never complain. We did that for like a year, 2 years. Like it was a crazy time. When I couldn't get off work or whatever it was, she was picking Austin up for me. She was holding Austin down. She was bringing him back to Jersey. She rode all the way through the whole
Mhm.
process. And that was, we weren't even married yet. We were just starting, like really having a life together like that, because we was just moving out of New York, and she knew how important Austin was to me, and she knew I needed that. and
Hmm.
she knew that family, like family saved me, man. Like her giving me that and showing me what it was like to really be a part of a family, like because I'm not super close with my family.
Hmm.
So half the time when you don't have your own family and you enter a relationship with somebody else, you always feel like an extra. Like you kind of just added on to their situation and their family.
Hmm.
But she let us create our own.
Hmm.
She showed me that, look, this is us. This is what we're gonna have, and I'm gonna support you, and we're gonna build this together. And that was extremely important to me, and that's just a part of the value that she brings to me, and
Hmm.
to our relationship. So when you was asking me about like the value and all of that stuff, it was like, yeah, I see it completely different. Because she's fire. Like
Okay.
she's successful. It ain't about like money talk or nothing. She could get what she want to get. She could do what she want to do. She's a boss at her job. She's really doing her thing, but she's humble enough to just show me love and to just be a part of a family.
Hmm. So let me ask you a question. And this is I'm only asking you this question because I'm a geek and I'm into sci-fi and shit like that. And I like I said before, I also believe love and energy is something that cannot be contained under one thing. Like you don't just have this one heart for your wife, or that you can't just give that one heart to your wife. I think it's what do you call it? And I completely agree with you. She's your Trinity, right? And I think you're at a point where it's like even if there is other soulmates, your job is, or you're at this point, like you don't want to care, you don't care to find out. Same thing in my position. I don't care to find out if there's another Trinity for me because I got one right here, right? And same thing with you. But you don't believe that there's no other like person in the world in Zimbabwe somewhere that would have done the same thing. Like you don't think like there's more than one soulmate?
That would have like done the same thing as far as
What
holding me
all the
down with
stuff that you
Austin.
explain, everything that you explain.
Uh, it's possible because that's an act. That's just like, yo, you love somebody, you care for them, and you want to help, and
Hmm.
you just want to see them be happy. So I think
Hmm.
that that's possible, but I don't think that I could feel the way for anybody else that I feel for her, because I've been in relationships. I think it would be different if I was like a young guy and this was like one of my first relationships, or my first serious relationship, and I didn't really have any experience. But I feel like I've had a good amount of experience, and I've been in a decent amount of relationships to know that nothing and no one has ever matched what she provides for me. It's almost, for me, it's a scary feeling, because
Hmm.
to know that somebody has almost a certain amount of power over you
Hmm.
is like, damn, I never really felt too vulnerable like that. I always felt like, yeah, this is nice, but if this was over, it would just be on to the next. I just
Hmm.
would be doing something else. With her, it's like I can't see past us. Maybe let me not say I can't. I don't want to see past us. Like
Yeah, that's what I
like I
just
don't
said.
I
You
don't
you don't
see
care to see.
anything else. You
Yeah,
know.
I get it, because that's the way I feel. Let me tell you the story, right? I don't. Did I ever tell you about the girl that got married on me? I told you that.
I'm not sure, but God, if
So
you might have told me, but tell the
so
audience.
the reason why I'll tell you the story, because this is I came to my girlfriend, and this my girlfriend had me thinking, I need to find another way in. All right, this is a sidebar. What's another word for a girlfriend that's not your wife, but that's more than a girlfriend? You know, she's the mother of my child, and we're still together. Girlfriend seems so trivial to me, like it's so low because I feel like I'm robbing her.
Yeah, so you need to make a wife. That's the other word.
All
There you
right, moving on
go.
with my story. Moving on with my story.
You're finally
So,
catching on.
moving on with the story. All right, so my girlfriend said I was pretty much she layman term. She said the girl I was dating was pretty much trash, and I was a sucker. All right, so let me tell you the reason why I thought, or I came to this thing where, or I still feel like people could love multiple people. So I met this girl during the recession, right? I was broke. I didn't have a job. I had just gotten fired from a job. I was going through it. I was going through it to the point where I was living with my homeboy inside his makeshift closet. Like winters were cold as shit, right? So I met this girl and I was straight up. I told her, "Yo, I'm broke. Don't got no job. I don't know if you want to fuck with me. I'm trying though." Um, and she was with it. She was just like, "Yo, no problem." She paid for dates. She came and chilled with me in the closet. She met with my friends. Like when I mean a closet, bro, like I felt like I was outside during winters. Like the snow, yeah, like I needed like four sheets, four blankets in that closet. But that was my home for a year, right? She came, chilled with me in that closet, and we were together for like a good year, right? And certain things started, and she was going to school in Pratt, and then I got to put it out there. She was going to school to Pratt, and you know Pratt is expensive, right? And then she also lived in 14th Street, Union Square, and you know that's expensive. So I'm like, yo, where does this girl? Everything was good, right? Everything was good, and then I finally started. I think because everything was good, I didn't see what was really going on. So I finally started getting myself get back together. Like I got my job back. I started working. You, I started working PD, right, and also retail. I was doing one at night, one during the day. So I got more than enough job, and I started coming up, and I was about to move out and everything, getting myself back together. So as I'm getting myself back together, I was able to focus on like things that I wasn't focusing on before. I started thinking, where is she getting this money from? What is she doing? How does she do this? She's only a student. She's not working. Yada yada yada. Right? I realized, you know, I was sending out packages. She used to go back and forth to Cali like every other month. And I'm like, yo, where does this chick get this money from? Make a long story short, this chick was dating somebody long distance, and he was providing money for her, and in turn, that money was getting filtered throughout her bills and spending on me and her dates and shit like that. Right? Um, it got to a point where she finished school, graduated, um, didn't have a job. So now I was like, yo, I got to repay her. She was doing a lot for me for a whole year. So I got her a job where I was working. Right? She was still doing her thing, traveling back and forth to whatever. And this was going on for like another year. So that's 2 years of like little sneaky stuff that I'm seeing, or stuff that wasn't sneaky. I just couldn't understand it. Right? One month she went on a family vacation, and she was sending me pictures back. She went to New Orleans. She was sending me pictures back of like cans of soda, hot sauce, and I'm like, yo, where's the pictures of you and your family? She finally sent me a picture of her, and she was posing and whatnot, whatever. Um, Came back to work one night, and all I'm hearing is, "Yo." Remember, we work with each other, but we couldn't tell each other. We couldn't tell anyone that we were together, that we were a couple, because it was against policy. I got to work. You don't remember this story?
I do. As you tell it, I
Oh,
remember. I
okay.
remember.
I got to work, and my homeboy at the time was just like, well, my homeboy, he's still my homeboy, right? He's just like, "Yo, Ryon, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen. Just come upstairs. Just call your girlfriend. Call so and so." He was saying her name, but I'm not going to mention her name. Just call. what do you call it? So I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? As I'm going upstairs, I'm hearing everybody, oh my gosh, that was such an amazing proposal. Could you believe it? Oh my gosh. I'm like, so and so had such an amazing proposal. Her boyfriend came, proposed to her, and she said yes. So I'm hearing this shit. I'm like, I ain't proposed to this chick. Because they talking about the girl I'm dating. Make a long story short, she was dating so and so the whole time she was dating me. It was about 2.5 years, 3 years. She was exclusive in New York and she was exclusive in California, whoever she was dating. Right. And she was telling, after a while, I started finding everything. She was telling um, me that she loves me and treating me like that. And she was telling him that she loved him and treated him like that. My girlfriend said I was just a sucker and that people do dumb shit. Me, I believe, you know what? There's no way anybody would have done all that stuff and put up with me being broke, doing like for a year I was broke. It was recession, right? All this stuff and not have love. She could have went and found somebody else that would have like blew her back out just as she wanted. If she wanted kicks, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else would have treated her. So I put that to say, yo, she must have loved me, but she also loved this individual that was in California, her high school sweetheart, who she ended up getting married to, by the way, and left. And
Mm-hmm.
I never heard from her again at the
Yeah.
job 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
you know, so that's why I said, yo, maybe you could have more than one. Uh, what do you call it? What did you say? What was it? So, what did you say? I'm forgetting the words
A
right now.
soulmate, more than one
Soulmate,
soulmate.
more than one soulmate, right? But my girlfriend, damn, I forgot what my girlfriend said. I might want to like call her out here because I told her the same thing. I'm like, because me and my girlfriend had this conversation. We speak
Mm.
freely, right? So I told her the same thing, and she was just like, you, you don't look at it as an opposite way, meaning like you just don't. She looks at it as like malicious, vindictive, and she knew what she was doing, and
Mm.
she knew
Mm.
she didn't. You understand? And she
Yeah.
made me question. I'm like, damn, maybe this chick really was evil, malicious, and
Yeah.
vindictive,
Yeah.
and she left,
It
and she
could have
just
been two. It was just to see which option worked out. You know, she could have had you, she could have had him, and it just so happened that he was the one that worked out and she ended up being with. Like it don't mean that she didn't have certain feelings for you or whatever, but
but so that's
she
what I
was
asked you.
playing the game. But I don't think that that's not real. That's not real love though. That's
That's not
just
a soul. You don't
nah,
think that was
hell
like
no. Nah. Hell no. That's just foul. That's not real. Playing with two
because
people's
I was giving
feelings
her a
like
pass
that.
for years. I was
Nah,
like, man, whatever. She married now. I give her a pass. I don't think she meant to do what she did to
nah.
me.
You can't because it's too much work. Like when it's so much work involved and effort, I don't think you could say, "Oh, I didn't mean to," or "I didn't know what I was doing." You
Mm.
knew what you was doing. You didn't have a conscience for what you was
That
doing.
I think that's what my girlfriend said, and it made me think. And I was like, yo, this bitch. I was really dealing with a bitch.
Yeah.
Not my girlfriend. I started thinking like ill of her, and to this day now, I still think ill of of my ex. But
Nah.
before, I wasn't thinking like that. Before, I was like, nah, she get a pass. Maybe she had some stuff going on. With girlfriend completely switched my mind.
Yeah, yeah, because that's you trying to maybe rationalize it so it don't sting as much. You know, like nobody wants to feel like they was played or like they was just, you know how your girl put it, you was the sucker in a situation, so you want to be like, nah, she wanted me too or whatever. Nah, she knew what she was doing. She played the game, and that's just the way it go. But that's the difference between real love and what's going on out here.
All right, all right.
See, we had a breakthrough. You figured out that you can only have one soulmate, bruh. Like That's it. It ain't no two sides to that coin, unless you think so. If you out there you think so, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let me know. Interact, chop it up, subscribe. Ryon, you already know what's up, bro. It was a pleasure, man. I enjoyed this. It's been a long time, and I look forward to the next time, man. Until then, you already know what it is. Just be inspired. This is the Uninspired Inspiration. Peace.
Yo, 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 choose to inspire, not destroy.